Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And for today's video, we're going to learn on how to use PDFKit in FluentReports. So let's start. To start with, let us create a new file, and we're going to name this as demo8.js. Let's copy also the content from demo1. Also, we're going to erase all the content in this section, and we're going to keep this or change this to demo8. Also, we're going to change also the index.js. Okay. Before we start, we need to identify or define what is PDFKit. Now, if you search the internet and type PDFKit, okay? So similar to FluentReports, PDFKit also is a editor or another way of creating or modifying your PDF reports. So this is one of the example, and this is also a what to say a library for Node and the browser. So you can also install separate way for PDFKit, like by typing npm install PDFKit. Now there's a bunch of here you can apply for, but question is why do we need PDFKit in our Fluent reports? Now, in Fluent reports, uh, besides using on its own, similar way, PDFKit also incorporates with Fluent reports. So the reason, in my opinion, is that if there are operations like combining a PDF, so these are only limited to Fluent reports. Now, with the help of PDFKit, we can enhance that uh, process, and so besides from all the process will can be done in PDFKit, can also be done inside in Fluent reports. So let's start on that. To start with PDFKit, let us go back to our project. So from here, let us locate first the folder location of our Fluent reports here. So this is under Node modules. Then from Node modules, it is under Fluent reports. Then from here, it is under library or delete. Then you can see here, there's a Fluent reports PDF kit. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to copy this, copy the relative path. All right. Then head back to our program here. We're going to apply that inside this box. Then let's add a dot forward slash. And here, let's name this as PDF kit. Then in this section here, you need to remove this dot report. All right. Next, we're going to call the PDF kit inside our function code. We're going to assign that to PDF. Then let's bring down the PDF kit. So to call that one, make sure we assign that as new PDF kit. Okay. Now to test or to create our test example, we need to call the PDF. Then if you're familiar with PDFKit, we can simply call the basic command or this property text. So let's say going to name this as page 1. This is a test. Then we can also add a page next to that. Before we proceed to the next step, we need to make sure that our PDF kit is reachable. Notice here we have a bugs. So it says that cannot find module this Fluent Report PDF kit. Now let's fix this one. To fix that, let us remove this .js. Also, we need to emphasize the correct path by adding these 2 lines. So depending on the path, make sure you know where the path located. So once this is done, make sure everything on your terminal is working properly. Let's try to rerun our code. Alright, so this means that everything in this section is working. So let us proceed now on the next step. On our next step, we're going to create a preview for PDFKit. Now, similar to what we did in FluentReports, we're going to make also a preview display for PDFKits. Let's work on that. If you recall, this is the preview display for FluentReports. Since we're working with PDFKit, we're going to make a similar approach just like this one. Alright, so let's start. To start with, let us copy this fs package. We're going to apply that in here. Okay, next, we're going to create a new function. Then we're going to call that as write report. In here, we're going to import the following. First one is the PDF, while the second one is the callback. Now, for our code line, we're going to assign a variable and we're going to name that as write stream. From here, let us call this package and with the properties of create or the function properties for create write stream. Now from here, we're going to assign the location path. So we're going to name that as out file. Now for our out file, we're going to assign a path for that. So let's copy that one and on your header here, we're going to assign that. Then we're going to assign the export location. So make sure you assign the PDF extension. Once done, we're going to write the notification. So that's the write stream. Then we're going to execute this one with a note of finish. Then let's assign now the callback. Okay, so from here, let's bring down the PDF object. Then we assign that right stream variable. Then afterwards, we're going to close that. And there you go. Next, for us to be able to access this function, we're going to modify our module exports. So let's start. From here, let's cut this one. Then we're going to assign this to variable self. Then at the end of the line here, we're going to call that or assign that self to our module.export. Once done, let us import now that function. To call that function, let's call this variable self, then the name of the function. So from here, let's assign or pass the PDF object. Then from our callback, this will serve as our return indicator. Okay. So from here, let's assign a text that will display the function once done. So let's say going to assign that in a console.log. Then I'm going to assign this text information. All right. So make sure everything is working. Okay. Once done, let's test this now in our browser. All right. Seems this one has a bugs. So let's review our code. Okay. So notice here in our terminal, it seems that it already reaches this section here. So there's no issue from this part. So what I think is the bugs is somewhere in this section, this output file. Okay. So notice here, we export that as that export slash reports. But as I scan here, we already have two reports in this section. So possible this path here is not the correct path. Now to review this path, let us head over to our review. Okay. So from here, notice we already implement only for single report with no S. So let's try that one. It should be no S. Let's save that. Also, better to clear everything in here so that we can define which one is the correct export. Okay, good. So take note, always check your path. Despite there's no bugs on your code, so possible this section here, this output here has the problem. So let's review now our browser. So from here, let's reload it. One more. And there you go. Right? So that works. Now that we're done with PDFKit, how does this approach applies to Fluent Reports? Well, first thing is we already apply or call the function the PDFKit inside the Fluent Reports, but it's only part of the library. Now to max its capabilities, we're going to combine the the ideas or the approach of the Fluent Reports together with PDFKit. So let's work on that. To start with, let us minimize this browser. Then inside here, so let's say outside this main or the root project, we're going to add another folder, and we're going to name this as extra. Now, in this folder, what we're going to do is we're going to create a Fluent reports that calls the property of an image. So let's say that image should be get from this folder here. To make that work, make sure you have the image for that one. So for this example, I already download that image. I'm going to copy these bugs. All right. Then I'm going to paste that inside this extra folder. And there you go. Okay. So now that we have our image, so you can pick from any image. So editing is okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to apply this image in Fluent Reports. So let's start. To start with, let us head over to our this demo function. So from here, we're going to create the Fluent Reports before this section here. So let's say going to call or assign the header. So going to pass the RPT variable. Then from here, let's assign that image. So let's say here. So let's call that path. Okay. So make sure you are on the right path. Okay. So this time we're going to check if the image exists by typing fs. Then if exists, this one, then let's call that image for comparison. Okay. So from here, once exists, we're going to assign that image with this position. So assign the image variable, and this time we're going to assign the properties for that. So if you recall our previous example, better to display this in this manner so that we can assign freely our image. So let's say with a width of 200, then with the position of x, going to assign that in position 200 and y. So these are the axes or the coordinates. Okay, so this will execute once this image exists. Now, if not, we're going to apply the else in here. Then we're going to throw this function or this message. Okay, so once done, we're going to apply this header function in our reports. Now, from here, first we're going to call the report. Okay, so if you recall to call our report, let's copy this import. Make sure you call that. Also, in this section here, we're going to call the report location, this one. Okay. Now, since we already made this report as our output for our PDF kit, we're going to rename this one. So let's say going to name this as input report. Okay, next. since we don't have the data for that, so just purely demo. So we're going to assign a blank data. Okay. Then from here, we can also forward or apply the header. Then we're going to assign that header function. At the end of that function, we're going to render that report. Okay. So let's test this one first to make sure that this is working. Okay. So be sure to check the terminal for any bugs that you may see upon running this code. So let's try that. So from here, let's reload our page. Okay. So let's head back to our code. Okay, here. So notice here we have a bugs. So let's check these bugs. Okay, so I guess we have a problem with this preview. Okay, here. So we have a missing image. So that's the first one. So there's no output for this one. So this is the reason that we're creating this error messaging. So to fix that one, we need to ensure that this path is correct. So from here, let's say, mm, okay, so like this one. So depending on the levels of the depth or the depth of that folder, so this since this one is on the top level, okay, so this is on the top level. So therefore, going to change this to only to one dot. Okay, so let's try that one. Okay, so from our browser, let's rerun that code. Okay, so it seems it says it's done. Okay, so let's check our display. So notice here, we create an output for input report.pdf here. So in this section here, if we click that one, okay, so this file is not displayed in the text editor because it is either binary or ad-supported. Now, in VS Code, there's a extension that you can install for that. So there's an extension for PDF that is only for VS Code. So I already installed that. Okay, so any VS Code PDF here, you can simply install so that you have a reference for that particular object. So let's say for this one, okay, notice here. So let's say I'm going to install that. I'm going to install this VS Code. So any from the package here is okay as long you have the reference for what you need. So for my reference, I already need this VS Code hyphen PDF. So let's wait for that. Okay, so we're done. So let's try that in here and see if that works. Okay, so this one is working. So how about the input report? All right. So that one works as well. Okay, good. All right. Now that we're done on the Fluent reports, okay. So notice here, we combine now the two previews. So the first one is only for Fluent reports, and the second section here is for PDFKit. Now to combine these two we can call that function, or call a function that will combine or import this output. So let's say next to this page, we're going to call this um, properties here. This is the import. Oops, not this one. It should be import PDF. Now, for our PDF import to work, we're going to apply or convert that reports to buffer. So to do that, let's head over here. Okay, so let's call that function. I'm going to name that as buffer. And from here, let's call this fs package, and from that, we're going to call this read file sync. Okay, now for our file sync, let's convert. Okay, so this will read as a buffer. Now we're going to locate that file, which is this one. Going to paste that in here. Now we're going to assign this converted into buffer in this section here. Okay, so this will add the input or whatever information in this input report, it will be added to our existing report. So, all right, to test that one, okay, so make sure everything is on place. So let's try that one. In our browser, let's reload our page. Okay, so seems there's already a preview. So notice here we have one of two. So head over to the next page. Okay, and there you go. Right? So at this point here, we managed to combine two reports. One is from the original PDF kit, and the second one is the report from FluentReports. So that's it, guys. From this point here, we managed to explore more about PDFKit. Same goes with the combined function with FluentReports. We managed to convert two reports into one. Now, if you want to learn more about PDFKit, head over to this website, which is this pdfkit.org, and explore more on this content so that it will be more effective or more advanced if you combine this with Fluent Reports. So that's it, guys. Before we end our demo, let me fix this display. It seems this one is so big. So let's check our code. Oh yeah, here. So it should be width like this one. Let's try one more. There you go. Okay. Okay, so this is much cleaner. So that's it, guys. Okay, once again, if you found this video informative, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And see you guys on the next video series. Cheers!